Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Triple Win X HBB KAILUA. This is a dual dynamic driver set that was released in, I think, July of 2023. His idea with this was sort of the continuation of the Olina series, but with upgraded drivers, or an upgraded driver, I don't know, from what they had. This has two, a 10 millimeter and a 6 millimeter, and they're both titanium coated dynamic drivers working in tandem to create what I feel is a pretty darn nice sound. I did an unboxing, but just to go over what you get in there really quick, you've got wide bore and narrow bore tips. So there's 3 sets of each of those, small, medium, and large. You have got again, a nice cable. Like, this cable is thin. It looks like just a 2-wire, but or 2-wire. There we go. So I mean, yeah, it looks thin, but it does not feel cheap. It feels very, very nice, actually. And despite the fact that it's tangling a little bit right now, once you actually have it undone, it's really not that bad. There we go. Yeah. Very nice. No issues with the cable. Termination's single-ended, 3.5 millimeter. Again, no issue with that either for this set, because it feels like it probably, I don't think it's going to benefit from a 4.4. I love 4.4. If this were not someone else's set who lent it to me, thank you, by the way, for lending me a set or two to review. Appreciate that. I might replace the cable on it, but I think at the same time I might not, because it really doesn't seem necessary at all. The color, well, there are 3 colorways, but there is a good reason why I've got the fuchsia. The fuchsia is the one that is currently, although I don't know for how much longer, on sale on Amazon for a scary low, like $38.97 or something along those lines. It was a really easy decision for me, because mine are on the way to pick these up. After listening to them for approximately 5 minutes yesterday, I was like, oh, this is stupid good. So it's not just the price. I mean, the IMs, I think, are well worth their normal $80 asking price, but a deal is a deal is a deal. I mean, what can you say? I don't think you're going to find the quality level at $40 that you get with these very easily. Things that come to mind, maybe the Kiwi Ears Cadenza or TRN Conch. But yeah, after that you really have to go into like the true zeros, like the Zero and the Zero Red, and those would be in the 50s. And in some ways this is a superior set to those, because it just, well, we'll get into why. It's a bass headset, and I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. The idea was, I was going to review this sort of at the same time as the incoming Hades, because I thought it would be interesting to do 2 collabs from the same person, released within 1 year, not completely dissimilar price wise, like both under 100, and compare like the bass levels, because this is a bass headset, yes, because it has like plenty of sub bass, plenty of mid bass. That's really quality and really impactful and really present. I mean, listening to hip-hop tracks on it was just like, wow. Even picking up some sub bass in a couple of metal tracks that is not able to be heard, is not audible on some of my sets, was audible on these. So they definitely do the low end. And I know that's kind of what HBB is known for, is that he loves his bass. My handle is Bassdad8, so you might realize from that I like my bass too. quite a bit. I'm chunk slapping Honda Dad. Anyway, so onto the sound. As I mentioned, bass focus on these. Much more so than like the other IM that I have that I reviewed months ago, is the Tri-X HBB Kai, which when I reviewed it was a little different sound signature, so it kind of impressed me. But now that I've had dozens more, IMs in my ears, it doesn't impress me as much. It's just the Kai is fine, and that's about it. Like, it's just kind of fine. It's not very exciting. These are definitely exciting. You will not be bored when you have these in, especially if you're listening, if your library, if what you listen to is more on the hip hop, R&B, and rap side of things. They also did alt rock, straight rock. And when I say alt rock, I mean like Radiohead. And when I mean like regular rock, that's going to be more along the lines of Royal Blood and Highly Suspect, bands like that. They sounded great. It handled my metal with ease. There was no problem with it. No sibilance, no congestion in the upper mids, nothing to take away from that experience. So that's another reason why I ordered them. Because I love sets that do that. Not every set that I have does, and I listen to different music on different sets. This one, I know I can just pick up and be like, okay, I want to listen to an album, a metal album, all the way through, and there they are. That's perfect. I don't know necessarily if they were. I don't think they were really well suited for classical or jazz. Yeah, or opera for that matter, because I don't feel like Anna Netrebko's voice really came through the way it usually does. And, sometimes a set doesn't have to do everything to be good. I think this set was aimed at the rock and roll hip hop crowd, and that makes sense because that is a lot of what makes up HBB's library. If you watch any of his videos, he's abundantly clear about that and how he prefers sets, as you might imagine, which makes total sense, that play his library very well. Hello? Yeah, got it. So, a couple things that I know when I'm picking up an HBB collab, and this is my third, is that I'm going to get something that's good. There's going to be nothing horribly flawed with it. Like, it's not going to sound bad. You know what I mean? Even though these didn't play like classical or jazz or opera well, they still played it like well enough. Like, it didn't sound horrible. That's number one. I know it's going to be good. I know sort of where it's going to be aimed at insofar as music goes. And I know it's going to be worth the price that's asked. And the third part is probably the most important, I think, for most of us, if not, all of us. Even if you've got a lot of discretionary income and you can collect kilobuck sets, you're still expecting a certain level of quality for what you're paying for. And I feel like when HBB releases a collab, that's like never in question. And I can't speak to it because I don't own it, and it's kind of my end game set, but I'm sure that Jupiter delivers on its $1,600 promise. Like, I'm sure that if you could buy that and you did buy that, you would be happy with it. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, so I would imagine by now, if they were wildly overpriced or if they weren't very good, that we would definitely be hearing about it. People spend the kind of money they care, People that spend $80 care. People that spend $25 care. When you spend your money, you want it to be well spent. So, I feel like when you pick up a collab from this particular person, that is not something that you have to worry about. And that's really nice. There's been a lot of, I don't know, BS circulating regarding his most recent collab, the Hades. And I call it BS because a lot of it is based on purely on graph sniffing, I guess is what you call it. Like people that look at the graph and call it trash, basically, even though they've never had the IM in their ears. That bothers me. See, I'm in favor of collabs as a general rule. I think that they're a benefit to the community because collabs generally are coming from people that have spent quite a bit of time in the in this business, in this hobby, and they know what they're doing. And they know what sounds good, and they know what doesn't, and they know what works well, and they know what doesn't. So when somebody does a collab, it's basically them saying, hey, this is how I really enjoy to listen to music. I want to share this with everybody. And I think that's great because they're passionate about it, they're knowledgeable about it, and so they want to share that passion and knowledge. That's why I think collabs are wonderful. I think they're a benefit. I think that they're great for the people, and there are people that feel like in some way or another they're being scammed, or they're paying more for the same quality. Well, guys, I hate to break this to you, but the markup on IEMs is kind of like clothing, from what I can understand. So you're probably not paying more than you would normally pay. I'll just put it like that. I don't think it's any reason, to not buy an IM, like it's because it's a collab. I think that's lame. I think it comes from a place of jealousy, envy, from people that wish they could be as successful as these folks are, and aren't, and so they just they like to shit all over everything that they don't have something to do with, or that doesn't directly benefit them, or make them seem smart, or whatever it is that they are seeking that they are not able to find. So I'm not going to say that all collabs are on the up and up, all of them are legit, and all of them are without problems, because that would be inaccurate. I think that for the most part that the intention is good, that they're coming from a good place and they're trying to put out a good product. I don't feel like this is like an intentional money grab. There might be exceptions, okay? I'm just saying, we live in the real world. We don't live in sunshine and rainbow land, so there could be exceptions. I just feel like certain people I can trust at this point, and their collabs being what they're supposed to be and not trying to be something that they're not, kind of trust. Like, I know what I'm getting. Critical is one. HBB is one. Zeos, I would say, he comes off like maybe, a little bit of a confidence man, but I think his collabs are solid. Timmy from Giz Audio, like, I have a couple of his collabs. They're great. I mean, they over deliver for the price. Look at the Chopin and the Galileo. So anyway, I think it's tough. I think it's tough when you're in the public eye, and you obviously have put yourself in the public eye, and that's where your space is. You're going to be subject to a lot of criticism, but when it's undue criticism, or unwarranted criticism, or uninformed criticism, well, yeah, I can see the patience getting a little bit thin with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess my advice is it's to these people that are doing that kind of stuff, and I've said it before, and stop the hate kind of thing. Like, if you're that miserable, or that jealous, or envious, or dissatisfied with your life, or whatever it is, then do something about it. Because nobody wants to hear your crap, your salty comments on other people's collabs, or whatever they're doing, other people's reviews. Like, if you have something legitimate to say, like a legitimate criticism that's coming from a place with some knowledge and something to back it up, okay, fine. Opinions are opinions, and that's fine. But when you go on somebody's review or you go on somebody's, you know, what do you call it, explainer video or whatever, and you start calling something trash that you've never had in your ears, like never had in your ears, then that's a problem. And it's really your problem. You know, you're just trying to make your problem somebody else's problem. And obviously, you know what your problem is. You're envious and you're unhappy. Posting crappy comments isn't going to help that. It's going to help you for a few minutes and be like, oh yeah, I got him. And then after that, you're going to feel like more like crap about yourself than you already do. So, I know, again, hey, listen, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I get it. You know, it's that it feeds it, right? You know, oh God, I drank too much. I'm really hungover. Maybe I'll drink some more because that's going to make me feel better in the short term. And then that cycle just repeats. So if you're in that cycle where you like make these comments and for a little bit they make you feel better, but then you start to feel bad again, and then you get pissed off, and then you go make another bunch of comments, and then you feel good, and then you start to feel bad again. You know, it's the same thing. You're addicted to basically negativity. So look at that. Look at it really hard. What are you really trying to accomplish? And what are you really accomplishing when you do that? All right. Dad's done with his lecture. Be nice, people. Spread the love, not the hate. There's no need to spread hate. This world's fucked up enough already. Don't add to it. Especially not over earphones, for Christ's sake. All right, yeah, so that's it. I'm definitely going to recommend the Kailua. I would recommend that you get on your phone or your tablet or your laptop and get over to Amazon ASAP before the beautiful fuchsia sells out at $39, because that is a deal and a half at half price. And if you miss it, or you just can't get over the color and you want to go blue or the white iteration, there's like 3 colorways, then do that. Because for $80, I think they're fine. I think they're really good value, like better than just fine. And it's because of the bass response and how the rest of the frequencies are not completely disrupted, right? So mild V, little bit extra on the bottom end, pretty mild in the middle and on the top, but fun, engaging, exciting, and a good value. And at this point, probably been overlooked, maybe a little bit too much. With that, I'm going to wish you guys a great day. Be well. Hope your loved ones are well. Be careful. Be nice. Be positive. I love y'all. Nothing but peace to you. We'll see you.